Hey guys, it's Seriously Lazy here, and today I'm going to take you through the 5 most important things you need to know in F1 mobile racing. If you'd like to keep up with more racing content, remember to hit that subscribe button and subscribe to my channel. Now let's get started with the 5 things, starting with number 1, challenges. So challenges are a very important part of F1 mobile racing simply because they give you a lot of different rewards like credits, research points, and experience, which allows you to increase your level that helps you to increase the maximum R&D points. Now let me show you the R&D tree just for a very for a much easier understanding. So over here on the right side, you can see the number 34. You can see that is basically the maximum R&D points you can have when you are making your car's setup, and that is affected by your level. So the higher your player level is, the higher that maximum R&D points is going to get, which means the more parts you can fit onto your car, the more better parts you can fit onto your car as well. So challenges basically give you the experience to help your player level up faster so that you can get a higher maximum R&D point, and that allows you to build a better, faster car, and that is so important on F1 mobile racing. So every day when you log on to F1 mobile racing, remember to check your challenges, and when you're free, just try to complete them and get the rewards that the challenges give you so that you can level up and get a better car more quickly. Now moving on to the second most important thing you need to know is your setup. That epic parts aren't just automatically better than rare parts or even common parts. Now let me explain to you why. So epic parts, they give you much higher stats than your rare and your common parts, but they also require a higher R&D point. So let me just give you an example. So over here, as you can see in my setup, I have a epic part which uses 7 R&D points, the nose cone, right? So it gives me 190 stats, but it requires 7 R&D points. So now let's compare it with some of the rare parts that I have in the setup. So now let's move on and look at the two blue parts. So the first one we're going to be looking at is the 128 stats, the brake balance. It requires 2 R&D points but gives me 128 stats. Now then, this advanced balance that I have on my car as well, it requires 4 R&D points but gives 112 stats. So basic math would tell you that these 2 rare parts give me a stats of more than 200, but it only requires 6 R&D points. So it requires less R&D points than my epic part but gives me more stats. So that just tells you that epic parts need not always be the best. They require so many R&D points to the point where they may not be the best part you want to fit onto your car. So ultimately, when you are building the perfect setup for your car, you gotta ensure that you make a balance, right? You make a balance and see how to fit in a specific the fixed number of parts, because you can only fit about 10 parts onto your car. So you have to make sure you can fit the 10 parts, but at the same time get the maximum stats with the limited R&D points that you have. So that is the second thing you need to know, right? Your setup. That epic parts may not necessarily be better than the rare or common parts. Alright, so moving on to number 3 on the list is, after the new update, the new trophy ladder system. So after the new update, right now whenever you gain a certain number of trophies, you will get a reward which gives you different things like different R&D parts. It could give you some liveries. It could give you certain new tracks, or it could also give you some experience again to upgrade your player level. So basically, climbing up the trophy ladder gives you a lot of different things to help you on your way to getting your car better, and overall just allowing you to get more liveries to just make a nicer looking car as well. So right now the trophy system basically gives you a lot of different rewards whenever you get higher on the ladder. So you gotta make sure that you spend more time doing duels and trying to climb up the trophy ladder to get all these different rewards, because they're going to help you get better parts, more parts to help you make a better car, faster car as well. So the new update, remember, you got to spend more time on duels and climb up that trophy ladder. Alright, now number 4 on the list will be your safety rating, the driver's safety rating. So whenever you play duels, you will realize that you're gonna have this small little number beside your player name, your player tag, and that is going to represent your safety rating. So for example, over here you can see that beside my name tag, you can see that 1.5, which basically represents my safety rating. Is actually pretty bad, right? Your target safety rating should be about 3 point something to 4.0 at best, which is basically green in color. So you would want the best safety rating possible. Why does it matter? Because it matches you up with fair playing opponents. If you have a bad safety rating, whether it is in the yellow zone or even the red zone, which is less than 1.0, you're going to get matched up with a lot of trash opponents that just don't play fairly, and they try to crash you out early on in the race, right? They'll just crash you, make you DNF, and that basically makes your whole game experience suck. Well, it could also make you lose a lot, especially when they crash you out so often. So you want to get matched up with the fair playing opponents, and so that is why the player safety rating is so important. Now then, what affects your safety rating, right? So safety rating is affected by the way you drive. So if you go around cutting a lot of corners, crashing into the AI, crashing into the opponent's car, you're going to get a really low safety rating, and that, like I said, is going to affect who you are going to get matched up against. So no matter what you do, whenever you play duels, just try your best not to cut any corner or crash into anybody at best, because you want to get a good safety rating overall. So I just want to illustrate to you over this lap that crashing a lot and cutting all the corners will make you drop your safety rating. So right now you can see I'm just doing a lot of corner cutting, and so let me just fast forward to the end of the lap and show you how my driver rating has dropped. Alright, so as you will notice right now, my driver safety rating has dropped all the way to 0.7, and you can see that it is now in the red zone, which means I will now be matched up with other people in the red zone who just crash into you randomly and just cut all the corners. So that is something you need to take note of, right? Just drive safely, or rather than saying drive safely, drive fairly, right? Don't try to cut all the corners just to win the duel, and don't just try to crash your opponent out, because that is going to not only that will basically not only decrease your safety rating, it just makes the whole game experience bad. So that is one more important thing you need to know in F1 mobile racing. Alright, now for the last important thing you need to know on this list is again got to do with your setup. It is upgrading your parts. So one mistake that I have made, which I really regret, is not upgrading my parts evenly. I upgraded my aerodynamic parts too much, and I kind of left out on my power parts. So this is one important thing you need to know, right? upgrading your different parts evenly. So there are many different types of tracks in F1 mobile racing, and they're going to need different types of setups, right? You're going to have tracks like Monaco, which need high aerodynamics. You're going to have tracks like Monza, which just need a high power car. So you want your car to have different parts that can be good on different kinds of circuits. So you want good aerodynamic parts, you want good power parts, you need good parts, good every part, right? You need every part to be good, basically, so that you can make your car fast in every different type of track, and that is so important. And that is this one mistake that I made that I hope that no one else will make, because that is actually quite annoying, right? You get really fast on some tracks, but you get really slow on others. So you want to make sure that your parts are evenly upgraded. You want to make sure they're all good to about the same extent, so that no matter whatever track you get for your duo, you're going to be able to be fast on all of them. So that is something very important you need to know to get faster in F1 mobile racing. So with that, these are the 5 most important things that I feel you need to know for F1 mobile racing. If you found those 5 things useful, remember to hit the like button, comment in the comment section below, and hit the subscribe button for more racing content. Now I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.